Do you have a job? What a video to start off like that. Well, if you have a job, how did you get hired? Through interviews, through friend recommendation, or other means? Is any of you hired through GitHub by any chance? This is a curious question because we all really like to work on our portfolio, and of course, big part of the tool that we use for that is GitHub. We upload our portfolio on it, and we can see other people's portfolio, open source projects, etc., etc. But I have to admit, I don't really know anyone that's in my circle that's been hired through GitHub. And I know some people get hired by not promoting, contributing to open source projects. And that's such a cool way to get hired, I think, because it already shows that you have the understanding of what the product is, you can do a good work, and that's been reviewed. Yeah, so I think I really like the idea that there are people that get hired through GitHub. So yeah, hired through GitHub part 2. It's an article written by Joseph Lyons on z.dev. If for those of you that don't know me, my name is Pascal. I am currently a master's software engineering student. My background is in mathematics. I have a PhD in mathematics, and then I worked as data scientist, and now I'm studying masters in software engineering. And on this channel, we read articles daily about software engineering and productivity and other things related to development and software engineering and so on. And if that interests you, make sure to like and subscribe. Here's the article. In Hired Through GitHub Part 1. So there's Part 1. Yeah, so this is of course Part 2. If you guys would like to read Part 1, if you guys enjoyed this and would like to read Part 1, let me know. We shared how some of our co-workers landed positions on the team after making significant open source contributions to Z. Yeah, there it is. Open source contributions. So they make open source contributions, it gets reviewed, it gets accepted, you do that several times, your name started getting noticed, and then voila, you get hired. But we have seen so many teammates who have arrived this way. We needed another post. In this edition, Smit and Bennett share their different paths into Z. Smit lives in Bangalore, India, and likes to build games and watch movies. That's cool. At Smit Smit had worked for 3 years as a web developer when he decided to pivot into a new focus. He was interested in working on a performance-first project, and Z caught his eye. I left my full-time software engineering role to figure out what was next and wanted to use that time to contribute to open source. I had a bunch of projects in my mind that interested me a lot, such as Astro and Bun, but Z was my first choice. 2 things hooked me immediately, extremely fast, and from the creators of Atom. I remember the first time typing in Z and asking my friend to give it a try because of how snappy it felt. That's really interesting. So this person wanted to leave the role that he was in, and the thing that he started doing was contributing to open source projects. That makes me think how... So this is considered to be a really good thing to do in terms of pivoting, because I always thought this is more of a long-term outlook, you know? I don't know, but I've never contributed to open source projects. I'm sorry. As Smith began contributing, he chatted with Z staff like Joseph and Kiro, who offered feedback and guidance. I told Joseph I wanted to contribute and started fixing one annoying bug after another. It started around November 2024. He encouraged me along the way. And Kiro began merging each of my PRs faster than the last. The momentum kept building. Joseph and I stayed in touch and talked everything Z related for months. As a daily Linux user, Smith started by fixing the paper cuts he experienced firsthand and adding Linux-focused features. He worked on mouse cursor size and blur issues on Wayland. implemented menus on Linux, and landed many improvements and fixes to the project panel. Many of these issues had been long overdue, some for over a year, with numerous upvotes from the community. Smith hadn't really paired with anyone during this time due to the time zone differences, but plenty of his work was reviewed asynchronously by the Z team, particularly Kiro. In under 3 months, Smith shipped 40 pull requests. That's a lot. 40 plus pull requests even. One morning, I woke up to an appreciation post from Z on X. Shortly after, Z sponsored my work, and when they began hiring for a community role, it all fit right in. Now at Z, Smith has had to think differently about his role, though it has been rewarding. Other than contributing code, my main challenge after joining was figuring out better ways to work with and communicate to the community. Since I represent Z, how I respond shapes what Z means to them. It's a small team with a lot of autonomy, and I learn something new every day, no matter what you are working on. There's always room to grow. The team is incredibly encouraging, and it's inspiring to watch great craft come together right in front of you. One aspect Smith particularly appreciates about working at Z. At Z, you truly understand your users because you're one of them. It's much easier to make clear decisions about what to build, what to fix, and how to gather feedback. Beyond the project panel and Linux work, most of Smith's time has been dedicated to fixing bugs in the core editor, including selections, indentation, completions, and language-specific nuances. He's learned a lot from his teammates, such as working with tree-seeder, language servers, and much more. For Smith, building something that resonates with so many people has been fulfilling. Thinking of fixing these bugs for so many people filled me with motivation. I've always wanted to work on a piece of open source software. It's an absolute joy to make a fix that solves people's problems right in front of your eyes. It feels personal and meaningful. For those considering contributing, he offers this advice. If you haven't started contributing yet, pick the smallest bug fix you can find and make your first PR. If you've been contributing for a while, don't be afraid to take on a big, high-quality work over small, high-quantity tasks. The Z team sees when your work creates noticeable impact. But what's the, for Smith, it ended up being something nice, right? Like this. But other than that, is it just the joy of contributing to an open source project? To be fair, I don't know what Z does, but I don't know. One part of me think, is it just the free labor for this company? But another part of me, I don't know. Like Linux, for example, it just worked so great as an open source project. And is it one of those? Maybe. Yeah. Bennett Fenner lives in Darmstadt, Germany, and likes to boulder. Bennett, a computer science student at TU Darmstadt, discovered Z through a Reddit post in 2023. I read the GPUE blog post and was nerd sniped into learning a bit of Rust. After that, I found myself frequently checking for new blog posts and found the vision and technology choices fascinating. At the time, Z could only run on macOS. I remember seeing the public beta announcement, but at the time, I did not have an Apple machine, so there was no way for me to try out the editor. I bought a MacBook a couple of weeks later since I needed it for uni. In retrospect, I bought it specifically to try out Z, but tried to convince myself that I needed it for uni, and that's how I got started. Loved it ever since. From January to March 2024, Bennett made regular visits to Z's channel tree to learn from and pair with Z engineers. I started contributing right after Z went open source. I opened a bunch of small PRs showing diagnostics in scroll bar, GPUE fixes. I guess it's kind of like GUI fixes. Collaboration improvements, around 20 or so. I basically ended up spending most of my free time hanging out in public channels. My thought? I can work on this cool open source project with a bunch of world-class engineers and learn from them for free. Why is almost no one taking advantage of this? That's actually true. You can really make a difference for this open source project, and then you can get really good feedback from world-class engineers. And yeah, now that you put it like that, I can see a lot but big benefits of contributing to open source. I started pairing mostly with Conrad on collaboration, but also other people, Antonio, Thorsten, etc. After hanging out and pairing with Conrad in the public channels, he asked me if I would be interested in doing an internship/work for Zed. Wow, that's really cool. I wonder how long it took. For them to go from complete stranger to that, or making the first PR to that. Bennett would spend 1 month as an intern before being asked to join the team in April 2024, before he joined via contributor to hire instead of through a traditional application. Bennett found onboarding less jarring. Contributing helped me get familiar with Zed's collaboration and pairing culture. I learned a lot about the codebase by listening to and pairing with Zed employees. However, it still took me a while to be productive on various tasks after being hired. I was new to Rust, and this is the biggest codebase I ever worked on. Bennett reflects on his experience since becoming a Zed staff member back in March of 2024. It's been amazing. The whole process of joining felt very natural since I knew most people beforehand. I really enjoy the freedom I still have today. Sometimes it feels like I'm still a contributor given how much autonomy we have. The team is world class. Feels like I'm working with the most talented and friendly people every day. That's so nice. That has really accelerated my learning and helped me become a better engineer. Also, I obviously love using this product, so getting to work on it is even better. All the technical challenges are super interesting. Maybe, having read that, maybe this is the future. Maybe this is the way to go, because if you contribute to the open source project, that means that you're already genuinely interested in the product. It means that you feel passionate about it. It means that you've already used it. You know the ins and outs of it. And it also means that, you're already familiar with the products, and you, like Bennett says, you already know most people in the company anyway. So it's a very natural way to integrate. Maybe this is the way to go. Because interviews, like technical interviews, you can be sick that day, you can be stressed that day, tired that day. And other HR interviews, the same thing, right? It's just such a quick way to decide that you will see almost every day, almost third of your lifetime. No, almost 8 hours a day, that's like 1/3 of your everyday. Is someone that you will spend 1/3 of your everyday. It's like almost like a marriage. And just making a quick decision like that is so risky, I find. Since joining, Bennett has worked on indent guides, preview tabs, and many general text editor core features. Today, he's part of the AI team focusing on LLM agent tasks, and continues to balance working part-time at Zed while finishing his bachelor degree at TU Darmstadt. Bennett's advice to future contributors: don't hesitate to reach out to Zed employees to pair. Most of us much prefer to pair with you on a PR than to review the diff on GitHub. Hang out with us in the public channels. Different paths, same destination. Smit and Bennett took slightly different routes to contribute to Zed. Smith worked independently, fixing bugs and shipping pull requests that were reviewed asynchronously, while Bennett spent time in public channels, live pairing with Zed engineers. Each route taught them about working effectively at Zed and grew their passion for open source development. By hiring through the community, we've learned that the benefits flow both ways. Contributors gain real relationships with the team, deep exposure to our codebase, familiarity with our pairing culture, and ultimately ship code that improves the experience for Zed users. Around the world, we in turn get to see how you think about problems, find solutions, and navigate communications around the work. If you're curious about contributing, check out these GitHub issues. The Zed team has marked as strong first issues to tackle. We look forward to pairing with you soon. Looking for a better editor. So this is an IDE. Okay, that's cool. For me right now, I probably wouldn't try for now, because I am using Visual Studio Code, and my next IDE I want it to be NeoVim, and I just haven't had time to properly set it up and get used to it. It just hasn't been top of my priority right now. But this is such a cool, interesting read. yeah, let me know if you would like for us to read the part 1 together as well. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I hope you guys too. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. But thank you for watching, and like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.